I'm here to talk about a book I really enjoyed for multiple reasons. The name of the book is Found in a Bookshop by Stephanie Butland. It was recommended to me by Kindle Unlimited. I'm a Kindle Unlimited member, and this one came up and I thought I'd try it. If you watch any of my previous book reviews, you know that I really like books that are set in book settings, like libraries, bookstores, etc. So this one totally fit the bill. This video is part of a collaboration named Thursday BookTube, and it's hosted by myself and Life with Patty. And we invite you to join in whatever you want with whatever book suits your fancy, novel, story, children's book, cookbook, coloring book. If a book has made you happy, review it and let us know about it. Tag both Patty and myself and use the hashtag Thursday BookTube. And every Thursday we'll update the playlist. So, this is, again, as I said, a story about books set in a book setting. But what makes it kind of different, at least at this point, is that it's set in 2020 during the lockdown and the pandemic. Now, I thought this was interesting because this is really the first thing I've read that was set during the pandemic. I think the pandemic, even though it was only 4 years ago, even though sometimes it seems like it was a million years ago, was really only 4 years ago. And I think we're still trying to absorb it a little bit. It hasn't yet become part of the book culture, the movie culture, whatever, kind of went back to our lives. And maybe in a few more years, there'll be stories and books written about that time and things that happened. But it seems like it's still a little too fresh for us to have completely absorbed it. But for Stephanie Butland, she has absorbed it, and she's written a really interesting piece of fiction about this period of time, and what happens in this story revolves around that. So Found in a Bookshop is set in England in 2020 during the pandemic. It's a used bookstore, and the owners are fretting, like many other business owners during that time, actually most business owners, on how they're going to keep their cash flow going. They figure they can hold it together, some of the overhead for a while, but with no foot traffic, because everyone's in lockdown, what are they going to do? So they come up with this idea based on their customers' behavior before the pandemic, and that is to open something called a book pharmacy, like the sort of pharmacy you'd go to at the drugstore. And they were thinking about the habits of their customers before the lockdown, how people would come in, and sometimes they'd have a specific book in mind or a specific author, and they would purchase that book. Other times people would come in looking for something similar to somebody else that they liked, or a book about a certain topic, and they would spend some time browsing. So they decided with this book pharmacy, they would encourage people to email or write them what they were interested in, the sort of topic, the sort of book, what sort of budget they had, and to send them all that information, and they would pick out some books, send them back an email or a letter, and let the customer decide which book they wanted to purchase, and then they would send the book out. So the idea turns into a reality. And through this process of receiving requests from customers for certain books or certain topics, they start to get to know their customers, and we start to get to know the customers. We meet an older couple who is dealing with the fact that one of them is very, very ill and probably will pass soon. We meet people who were caught in lockdown in the beginning of relationships or at the end of relationships and are kind of in suspended animation with that. We meet a young woman who is in a battered women's shelter, and on and on. And as the book goes through, the business grows with this book pharmacy and with people sending letters and emails, and with them going back and forth with the books they think that the clients, the customers, are going to enjoy. The range of customers means there's a range of needs, a range of personalities, and a range of requests. As the book progresses, you not only get to know the bookstore owners, but of course the people requesting the books, and you see how their lives progress and the things that happen in the bookstore and around the bookstore based on what's happening in the lives of their customers. And some of these things are good, some of these things are sad. There are some deaths, there are some breakups, there are some relationships started. It's just the normal flow of life, even during a lockdown and even during pandemic, sort of seen through the lens of this bookstore and their customers. So I highly recommend this book, Found in a Bookshop by Stephanie Butland. It is very good, very engaging, not so heavy duty that you have to put like a lot of focus into it, but it does keep you thinking, it does keep you reading. There's highs, there's lows, there's romance, there's sadness, there's the whole human experience. I found it just great. So if you're looking for a good read, I highly recommend this book. I guess there's another one, a prequel to it, that I just saw on the Kindle, so I will be downloading that to read it. So I appreciate you listening to this review, and I hope you find this book and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching.